We have done a lot of shows about communication. We've done a lot of shows about leadership. But the one area we haven't done a whole lot on is mindset. What does it take up here to get organized, to drive your business forward? Well, today we have an expert on mindset who's going to teach us how to get into that right frame of mind to drive our business forward.
Welcome to the KeyHire Small Business Podcast, hosted by Harlock, creator of KeyHire Solutions, where small business owners learn how to build stronger teams, simplify growth, and scale confidently. Got feedback or topic ideas? Send us a text. If you're listening on a handheld device, tap the link in the show notes to message the show. Subscribe or follow on your favorite platform, and follow KeyHire Solutions on social media for more insights and updates between episodes. To learn more about how KeyHire can help scale your business, visit keyhire.solutions. Connect with Corey on LinkedIn through the link in the show notes. Mention you're a listener, and he'll accept your request. And now, on with the show. Here's your host, Corey Harlock.
All right, before we get into today's show, I just want to follow up on a few things. We had Jeff Birmingham on 4 episodes ago now. He was episode 99. He was mad because he wasn't 100. But we've had a bunch of comments on his episode, which was all around being present and aware in your business. And that was a topic we'd never done before. To be quite honest, Matt and I were wondering how it was going to go. And man, that episode was so well received. Nadar M said that what he talked about, being centered and meditating and kind of driving that stress away, said it's so true. Consistent practice over perfection is what really builds clarity and presence. Love this conversation for leaders. Awesome. Nadar, thank you. Denny B also said that it was a very insightful discussion as well. So Denny, we thank you for that. And then Richard C, he threw back to an episode from early this year on how to protect your business from the new EAD renewal rules. And Richard's comment was, the laws and penalties are useless unless they are enforced. I agree 100%. I think any law regarding anything is useless if it isn't enforced. So Richard, thanks for taking the time to comment. We always appreciate feedback on the show, and we love it when people get with us and let us know what they're thinking or give us their ideas. All right, on to the show today about mindset. We have Curtis McCullom with them. He helps CEOs, founders, and entrepreneurs eliminate hidden blind spots to unlock income, confidence, and freedom. He uses his legit mindset framework, NLP, MER, and hypnotherapy. He guides lasting transformation, and he's the host of the Curtis McCullom Show, which I've had the honor of being a guest on. Episode release date TBD. So Matt, let's bring on Curtis. Mr. McCullom, how you doing?
I'm doing fantastic, Corey. Good to see you again, man.
It's great to see you too. I always enjoy hanging out with you.
Yeah, we had a good time on my show. Yeah, we know. You remember, it was the Curtis McCullom Show, and we changed it now to the Legit Mindset Show.
That's right.
It talks about learning, growing, and expanding. So yeah, and you were actually one of the second guests with that new formula. So I'm looking forward to producing that episode, man.
Yeah, it's going to be great. I have, if no one's recommended it yet, I have a recommendation for your theme song.
Okay, go ahead.
Too Legit to Quit.
There you go.
Every time I see it, that's the song I sing in my head. Too legit to quit.
Yeah, I don't. That might cost me a little bit, doesn't it?
It might, yeah. That's funny. All right, so you're sitting in SoCal, you said, right? You're down in Orange County?
I'm in Southern California right now. It's a beautiful day, about 70 degrees.
So weather exactly the same today as it has been all year, every day this
year? Just about. We get the same stuff. We don't have a lot of variation when it comes to weather. Our winter is probably 40 with a little rain. That's it. That's a winter for us. And we got our coats on and all that stuff with that.
Gotcha. You have the perfect voice. I know you said neuro-linguistic programming is NLP, right?
Yeah, that's NLP, neuro-linguistic program. Neuro, mind, linguistic, language programming is the strategies, like the app that we actually run in our minds.
Okay. And then what's MER?
MER is mental and emotional release. It's a technology that's based on your personal timeline, where we go back and release the emotional baggage that's attached to feelings and emotions. So if you had anger is always attached to a thought or feeling or something that you actually accepted or decided when it was.
Right.
And so when you look at it, you feel the feelings and emotions of anger. When we go and release it, now you look at it with the learning, like, I'm more than good enough. I'm beautiful inside. I can do things. Whatever it is that you get from that event, that's what you bring forward to all the events on your timeline that carried that same gestalt, and that came this gestalt of anger.
Cool. And then, totally off topic, NPR, that's the new thing, right? With all like the sounds and stuff like that. Is that NPR what all the kids are into? Like the noises that you listen to? Anyway, if I'm right, you have the perfect voice for it. You have like super calming, nice bassy tone to your voice,
Yeah, you're
perfect for doing all this stuff. I feel like I just want to, bare my soul to you, tell you everything.
And that's all. I was just on the podcast right before we got on, and one of the things we talked about was, when a person comes to see me, do they come with, with the guard up, right? And I don't want to participate, and normally it doesn't. I'm thankful and blessed to have a skill so that when I'm communicating with an individual, they feel like it's safe, it's okay, and I can actually be me without any judgment, without anything like that.
Curtis, mission accomplished. Good job. Okay, so let's get into this. We want to talk about, mindset today.
Yeah.
And we always like to start with definitions. And I think if you ask 100 people what mindset means, you probably get 99 different answers.
Yeah.
So what is your definition as we work through this kind of legit mindset, learning, growing, expanding, transforming? What are we talking about? What is define mindset for the rest of the conversation?
Well, I think when you talk about mindset within itself, right? The mindset is actually your thoughts, your beliefs, and your values, and all of these things that make you. Mm-hmm. And one of the biggest things we have to do as individuals is to protect our mind, to protect what comes into how we think. Most people don't realize that, number one, the subconscious mind doesn't joke. So if whatever you tell it, it takes it as truth. If you tell it, and most people get up and say, "Oh my God, I'm going to have a bad day today," jokingly. And the subconscious mind, "Oh, that's what you want." And so it seeks out to find things to make your day bad. So when we talk about mindset, it's just a way of thinking.
To get like all bigger picture, people talk about that law of intention, and they say the law of intention doesn't recognize negatives.
It does not. Basically,
I won't do this today translates to I'll do this today.
Well, basically, yeah, and yes, because it doesn't understand a not. It doesn't have a negative, so it just hears what it hears. So that's why it's so important. You said, well, people say, well, it doesn't make a difference. Well, think about it like this. What if it made 3 to 5 to 10% difference in your life or your income? Would that be enough to kind of practice more positive thinking in protecting your mind? And the answer will be yes. I think something just came to mind is I remember I think in the book of Psalms, the Psalms talks about protect your mind, protect your heart, because out of it flows the issues of life. Meaning what he says, when you read that, it's like put a garrison around your mind, because it's so important, because that's what controls who we are, and thoughts are things, man.
Yeah. That I'm going to get this wrong, but there's a thing about Mother Teresa way back when they asked her to participate in an anti-oppression or whatever march. Right. And she said, "No, I will not, but I will participate in a march for freedom."
There you go. And it's people say, well, that's semantics. Yes, it is. And it's so important.
Yeah. So I'm the older I get, the more I understand semantics. People will just like that. I'm just kidding. Right. Are you really?
Right. Well, no. Well, don't say it then.
Yeah.
Let's keep that one to yourself, because we don't need to. And that's what happens a lot too. A lot of the things that we accept aside and who we become now is because we, as kids or our parents or a relative, was always making funnies. They go, these little jokes and things, like I remember we had a friend, and they used to always call her Pudgy when she was smaller. And then when she got older, she had a eating disorder. They weren't being mean, right? They weren't intentionally being mean.
And they didn't think they were being mean.
They didn't think they were being mean.
Right.
But the result is the subconscious mind doesn't grasp that. It's just like, oh, so in order for me not to be pudgy, I'll formulate eating disorder to kind of counteract that. So it's just so much that we can just learn from that just don't joke, be serious. I mean, just with yourself.
Right.
Yeah, for sure.
Now, let me ask you this. And I think what we're talking about is positive versus negative mindset at some level.
Yeah.
Negative mindset. Mm-hmm. How real is the spiral?
Very, very real. I mean, because this is the thing, and this is one of the hardest things for us to really grasp sometimes. I think in the book, Thoughts of Things, I think by Bruce Allen, I think his name is, but he talks about the fact that wherever you are in life, wherever you are in your journey, that's because of your thoughts.
Agreed.
And it's like sometimes it's scary because of the fact that we're not where we want to be. And one of the first things I share with the client who comes on with me is you have to take responsibility. Mm-hmm. Wherever you are in life, you can't blame mom and dad, sister, brother, cousin on your nephew's side. No, you can't blame your boss, your wife, and all these things. It's you.
Right.
So that's one of the most powerful things a person can. That's one thing we can take away from the show. Take responsibility. It's like two sides of the equation, right? One side is the cause side of the equation, and one is the effect side of the equation. Mm-hmm. You want to be a cause. I take responsibility. If something bad happened in my life, I may not have caused that to happen, and I can take responsibility for where I am now. How did I accept it? Did I let it take me over? Did I start drinking? Did I start doing drugs because of that event? Yeah. So it's like, so you have to take responsibility for where you are in life right now is you. Mm-hmm. That means the powerful part about that, though, Corey, is this. That means that if I caused it, if I was a part of creating it, then I can also be a part of the recreation.
Love it. That's awesome. Yeah. I think that's part of the road of like that accountability is a big part of the road to like sobriety and people that go through kind of traumatic stuff, right? Is understanding that. But even I was talking about the spiral on a much smaller, and thank you for that. I think it's great. But, they say bad things happen in threes. And by the time that third one happens, everything has gone to hell. Nothing is any good. And, and this, and this, and this, and this, instead of just saying, no, one thing went wrong here. Like, let's not throw the baby out with the bathwater.
Oh yeah. See, I missed this.
I used to be really good at it. Now I'm just kind of good at it. I'm trying to get away from it and recognize like, no. I got to deal with one issue here. I'm not going to blow everything.
For sure. I mean, the reason now that what happened, the spiral happens because we move towards our dominant thought. Right. So if the dominant thought is, and part of it too is what we call a nocebo, and in the medical thing is like when a doctor or someone of authority tell you something and you take it to be true, and your body just reacts as though it's true. So like you said, the spiral effect is, I see this happening. Oh my God, it happens in threes. So now think about it. Now the subconscious mind is focusing on creating that three for you.
Yeah. What's next? Looking for the next one.
And it's looking for it. And it's looking for it.
Yeah.
So we once again we're creating the three. I mean, I've seen a case where an individual was told them that they were told within 3 weeks you will die from this disease. 3 weeks to the day, boom, they died. Same prognosis. My brother-in-law, may he rest in peace now, that 12, 13 years ago, they told him, you won't make it to next year. And he just gave them some explicitives and said, you don't make life, da. And 13 years later, he was still around.
Incredible, huh?
Was right. Because different. What is it? The difference between his mindset was, I don't care what they say, I'm going to live my life to the fullest.
Right.
And one is, they told me to, so they're a doctor, so I guess they're right. So here I go.
Interesting. So how does this apply? And this is, selfishly, I love these kind of conversations because I just think I'm probably using it incorrectly, but I'm a huge believer of the butterfly effect.
Okay.
Like every decision, we got into it actually on your podcast. If you want to learn about my background, go listen to Curtis's podcast when he releases it. But I am in a position in life I never dreamed I would have been in.
Okay.
And so I'm a big Vistage. I'm in a Vistage group. Everyone knows that. And one of our conversations was, if you could change one thing in your life, go back and change one thing, what would it be? And I said, I wouldn't change a damn thing because every decision I made got me here. And
absolutely.
The odds of it being better than where I am are small. The odds of it being worse than where I am are great. So if I go back and change that one thing, the odds are I'm not going to be in as good a spot as I am now. So I'm not changing anything. I'm going to ride this into the sunset.
Absolutely. Well, basically, and that kind of brings us to what the legit mindset, right? The legit mindset comes in with that thought and that belief in mind. Whatever I'm going through, wherever I am on my journey, whatever setback, heartbreak, whatever I'm going through, even wins and losses, whatever it is, it's an opportunity for me to learn something. What is it that God or the universe or whatever you believe in wants you to learn from this particular incident? Because that learning can now allow you to grow to who you want to become. Then you expand and you transform. But guess what, Corey? This process never ends. You're always learning, growing, and expanding and transforming.
You're telling me it's going to be hard work the whole time, Curtis?
Well, it's not hard work. And that's another good thought. It's not hard work. It is work, though.
Work, yeah.
It's work.
It's productive.
But this is the thing. This is the thing, though, Corey. Look at it like this. And this is the way I look at it. I get up 3 days a week, 4 days a week, and I exercise 45 minutes, 35, 45 minutes a day for those 4 days. I have a choice. The choice is this. I can either invest in good health or pay the cost for bad health.
Right.
Your choice. You're gonna invest one way or the other.
Yeah. Both suck. Choose your suck, right?
Well, not both suck.
Well, getting up and working out isn't fun, but being sick isn't fun either. So
being sick is worse. It's worse. Yeah. I mean, yeah. Think about it. I mean, one of the biggest asset that we currently have is our health.
100%. Yeah, I agree.
And if you can't breathe, you can't work. If you can't move, you can't work.
Correct.
That means you're going to suffer monetarily.
So you can't even get outside and get some sunshine on your face or do whatever. Whatever. So walk on the beach.
That's what I'm saying. So I would rather invest a little bit in my health, right? Eating good 80% of the time. Exercise. Well, we're not going to do it 100%. And so, don't fool ourselves. Yeah. And then, I'm not, look, this is one life too. I'm not going to just drive myself crazy to try to do that, go 100%. And one of my coaches told me, if you can do 80% good, you're doing extremely well.
I agree.
And look at it like this. And I always look at it with the baseball analogy, right? The baseball analogy is this, is that if a player is batting 300, he is in the top tier batting averages ever. He's going to get paid the top dollar.
Yep.
So as individuals, if we can get our lives to consistently play at 80%.
Yeah.
Wow. Look what the impact that we can actually have on ourselves, our lives, and the universe overall.
Very cool. So let's turn this into a bit of a business case.
Okay.
Let's take your legit mindset and talk about some of the examples maybe you've seen in business and how it might affect the business owner, or how it might show up in their day-to-day, and how they can recognize and go, oh, I might be spiraling here, or I might be walking myself to this bad outcome subconsciously.
Right. Well, one of the situations that a lot of people sometimes miss is their relationships at home, right? They're very successful on paper at work, but their relationships at home are falling apart. And most of the time, sometimes they work so much they don't even know their kids' friends' names. And then when they're at the table, they're not there. They're still thinking about a Slack channel, right? And then their relationships are a mess. And so now I was coaching a person, and what they wanted to be was more present, more calm, more empathetic. And the effect was, once we got rid of the root cause, because whatever we're going through, there's a root. And most coaches look at the actual growth. Oh, you want this, and they look at that. No, I don't look at that. I look at what happened, what's causing this. And once we pulled up the roots and figured out they had some childhood traumas that was actually causing them not to be connected with their family. And we got rid of that.
So the overworking, all the extra work, was just to have an excuse not to go back and spend time and be connected.
Absolutely. And basically and the reason for that was because of the fact that they were still running from something.
Right.
Right. And then it's not going to heal until you heal it. And then this is the beauty part about it is that, we got rid of it, and we did some coaching sessions with them to condition the new behavior. And then they walk up and says, they don't even realize I'm so calm now. And then we're in a coaching session, and I'm noticing that when he gets ready to say something, we gave him what we call an anchor. In NLP, we give anchors. So the anchor is like a trigger. So when it triggers, you do something different, right? And so for him, for calm, when he got in situations where the trigger was somebody said something he felt was disrespectful, the trigger would be, I'm going to go off on him. I'm going to cuss him out, da-da-da-da. Then the new trigger was somebody says something disrespectful. He takes a deep breath, and then he centers himself, and then now he's calm. Why is this important? Why is this important, guys? Because of the fact that when you become angry, you go into what we call fight or flight. Mm-hmm. When you go into fight or flight, your sympathetic nervous system is activated. This is that reptilian brain of ours that's designed to fight or flight a saber-toothed tiger, which we're not. So, right? So here we are. So now what happens is, in order to fight, what happens? All the blood rushes from your head. All the blood rushes out to your extremities. Why? Because you got to fight or you got to run. And guess what stops? Thinking.
Yeah, you get, like, even your vision narrows in, right? Like everything, so much so, well, like, because that burns calories too, and it just like everything that's going to burn everything that's going to burn calories to prevent me from protecting myself because I don't feel safe. Right.
And guess what? That's so sometimes a big deal now is erectile dysfunction or whatever. The problem is you might be in fight or flight. Because what happens is, in the sympathetic nervous system, your reproductive system stops. You don't need to be intimate when you're trying to fight.
When you're trying to save your life, right?
Right. But guess what? We're not even in a situation to save your life.
No, you're just you're in a disagreement. Someone has disagreed with you.
That's it.
It's not the end of the world.
It's not the end of the world. So now, if we can help individuals shift that, this is the beautiful part about it, Corey. Once we corrected that, not only did he have a better relationship with his partner, not only did he have a better relationship with his kids, his production at work went up. His employees saw him totally different. They became more productive because he was a different individual.
So when you say his productivity went up, my assumption would be because he's more focused, calm, working through things, the work he was doing before was, I'll call it chaotic. Yes. It was work to do work, to say I have work. I talk a lot about how business owners get addicted to the chaos of their business.
Yeah.
And they value how hard they work over their service or product.
Right.
And how hard it is to deliver, right?
Right.
And so work so hard, right?
Well, and that's another one. They're working hard for what? That means now, now this is the thing. So when we're working from the inside out instead of the outside in, most coaches work from the outside in, right? They said, okay, you go to a coach and says, I'm procrastinating. Okay, then let's find a strategy so you can stop procrastinating, right? That's the strategy that most coaches use. I said, no, okay, you're procrastinating. What is the root cause of that procrastination? When was the first time you've ever felt that procrastination? That's different. They're gonna say, oh yeah, I remember when I was in the first grade, my teacher said I had to do a report and I procrastinated.
Yeah, the answer to that question, Curtis, is my whole life.
Right. And that's a good point. And a lot of times it is the whole life. This is the beautiful part about it, Corey. When we pinpoint that moment, because this is really, if you ever read, for the audience, you can read the book Biology of Beliefs by Dr. Bruce Lipton.
Biology of Beliefs?
Biology of Beliefs by Dr. Bruce Lipton. And in that book, he talks about the fact that in some cultures, when a person is about to conceive a child, the two partners go away to make sure that they're mentally cleansed so that they don't transfer any emotions to the new child. Sometimes if the mom is stressed, it transfers to the baby in the womb.
Okay.
So you were jokingly saying all of my life, it could literally be all your life.
That's amazing. Okay, so let's kind of move into this. I love this stuff. I love it all. So let's move into kind of some mistakes that you've seen people make around kind of getting this clarity or not recognizing there's an issue. I mean,
right.
I think as we get older, one of my wife's favorite quotes is, as soon as you turn 30, you can't blame your parents for anything anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got to be accountable to it. So I've spent a lot of time trying to get accountable.
Okay.
So I enjoy it. And I think it's very valuable. I work with a lot of great business owners. You know, I'm fairly self-deprecating. I work with some guys and business owners that are too. You know, that's a great thing about business owners. They're all makes and models, right? Like and they all have their different thing. But it's a long way around saying, when it comes to these business owners they're entrepreneurs, so they have a business and they carry a lot of stress because they got to support a family, maybe, or they're at least, you know, responsible for a portion of that family. They got to make sure people get paid, and they carry that burden of making sure their employees can pay their rent and their mortgage and put food on the table for theirs. They got to make sure business is coming in the door. I mean, it can be overwhelming. So maybe let's talk about usually I say mistakes, but let's talk about some red flags, maybe, that if someone's kind of listening to this going, this sounds super interesting. How do I know if I'm kind of falling into this pattern? What should they look for?
I think one of the major tell signs is when you are overreacting to a situation what you shouldn't be overreacting to. Give you an example of that. I use an outside example of, if you're driving on the freeway, and somebody cuts you off, right? Well, the normal reaction would be like, you're like, you know, what you're doing, what you're thinking, right? That's a normal reaction because they did cut you off, and you got to, in the moment that did kind of upset you.
You're allowed to react.
You're
right? Reacting is not a bad thing.
It's not a bad thing.
Okay.
I mean, that's normal and natural. What bad would be is they did that, and then you start cussing them out, and then you start throwing them the finger, and then you go into your glove compartment and pull out your gun and you shake your gun, and then you get to work, and that's all you talk about. You can't believe what happened to me today. Right. So now that means that incident is carrying baggage, right? That's something in there, because you shouldn't be acting like that over that incident. Same thing in business. When you overreact on situations, an employee comes to you and said, "Hey, Corey, this report is not correct," and you just go off on them. That means that more than likely you have something that you need to get rid of, because that's baggage. You shouldn't respond like that. That's not a response that you should be having for that.
And that would be a symptom, right? The problem wouldn't be that they came and said something that hit you sideways. That would be, you already got something that's bugging you.
Well, basically, you're right. Absolutely.
And
go ahead.
Depending on the day, it might not bother you at all. But I think what I'm trying to get to is, I know me personally, some days I'm more irritable than others, and I don't know why. You might be able to tell me, but it just kind of, everything has to align, and that person walks in at the wrong time and says the wrong thing, and you're off.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not talking about isolated situations. I'm talking about consistency. I mean, what I'm talking about, there's a difference. I mean, it's like, to your point is like, I went down to my mailbox, and the guy there was not paying attention to me, and I go in there all the time, and he knows my name, and he didn't have my package. He's like, "I don't see it." I'm like, "They sent it here," and I just like lost it, right? Because in the moment I did, and then I thought about it, I'm like, "Wow, that's Curtis. What's going on? That's not like you to do that." So I went back and apologized and got it right. So that, I'm not talking about incidents. I'm talking about consistent behavior, which is different, right? It's a pattern. Okay. So now the difference is now there's a pattern every time, and I have this feeling that keep communicating with me, right? It's like in the feeling we say go back to anger, right? So now every time someone comes in my door, I have this feeling of anger, like something is, I don't know what it is. I can't put my finger on it. So that's what it is. That feeling of anger. Now,
so like when anger becomes your default, or frustration or anger, like a negative emotion is the default.
It's the default. And this is another default. Now you start labeling yourself with the default. An example of that would be this, Corey. I am an angry man. I'm always frustrated. So the difference, you see, now that feeling or emotion has become an identity.
Okay.
Okay. And so one of the things I teach individuals, and you can do this, guys, is number one, we all feel anger. We all feel sadness. We all have times where we feel some fear. Sometimes we feel like we are afraid. We are afraid. We're feeling the feeling of being afraid. This is the first thing that most entrepreneurs are afraid to do, is acknowledge the fact that they are feeling an emotion that they feel like may be a weakness.
Agreed. Yeah, because they got to be the invincible one, right?
No.
I got to hold this down for all these people.
Right. And this is the thing, this is the biggest lesson they can learn from this, if nothing else. And this is it. It's okay not to be okay.
I love that expression. Yeah.
This is the other part of it. It's okay not to be okay, but it's not okay to pretend that you're okay and you're not.
Love it. That's sage advice, Curtis.
And it's because this is the thing, because if I acknowledge the fact that I'm feeling, like you said before, I'm feeling anger today. I don't know what it is, but this is the beauty part about it. Your higher self, that part of you that's within, knows what it is. This is what you have to do at that point. So number one is an acknowledgement. Number two is make sure that you're separating it from you being an individual. I'm not angry. I'm feeling anger. And then what you need to do is you put your body into you ignite your parasympathetic nervous system by taking some deep breathing and allow yourself to feel safe. Because when you breathe deeply, what it signals to the mind is that I'm okay, I'm safe. That means no one is causing this anger. I don't have any other reason. It's just, but I'm okay. Now you can ask yourself, what is it that's driving this, whatever is driving this feeling?
Right.
And allow yourself to come up with stuff. This is what I tell people not to do. Do not ask yourself, why am I angry today? Why questions are not good for the subconscious mind when you're trying to find a resolution.
Sure. And if you say, why am I angry today? You'll find an answer to it.
Oh, absolutely. It's going to tell you everything that you've ever gone through. It's going to pull stuff out. You remember way back when. That's why you're angry today. Yeah. So ask yourself what and how questions. What is it I need to be doing? How can I now move forward from this? What can I learn from this? So now you have a system of now releasing these emotions. One of the things I was taught is that a feeling is just an emotion that wants to communicate with us and leave. A feeling is an emotion that wants to communicate with us and leave. When we don't acknowledge it, we don't allow it to leave. It stays in our bodies. That's why some CEOs and entrepreneurs have back pains, headaches, stomach aches, because they have not released the negative emotion that their body is trying to communicate with them.
Okay.
So they want to let it go. It wants to communicate with you. It's telling you, Corey, I'm feeling some anger. You says, no, I don't want to talk about that right now. He says, but now I'm feeling angry. So now it goes into the stomach. You said, oh my God, man, I don't know what's wrong. I got to have these stomach pains. The anger is saying, now it's like, I'm trying to get your attention. And you says, no, I'm going to press it down. I'm not going to acknowledge that.
Right.
And then it's like, and so it gets your attention one way or the other. Then all of a sudden you're like, because of the fact that the anger is still getting your attention until you stop. So it's easier to not go through there and just stop and allow yourself and acknowledge the fact that right now I'm feeling sadness. It's okay.
Curtis, so many questions. So let's go back. So we talked about way back to the default. People that become workaholics.
Yes.
Is that covering up a default, or is like that workaholic? It's not an emotion, but I'm sure it's tied to something, correct?
Oh yeah. Basically, always remember is that if you are a workaholic, the question you need to ask is, what is driving that behavior? What is it that's in my mind that feels like I have to keep working. And
avoiding.
Right? And usually it's something that you experience much younger in your life. And I give the audience this example for myself. I can use myself an example. Is that I would say about 4 or 5 months ago, I'm getting all these breakthroughs with my clients. I mean, they're like making more money, having more freedom, having more peace and calm. And I'm having this feeling of success is hard and difficult. Success is hard and difficult. And I thought that feeling of success is hard and difficult was from an incident that I had when I was younger. And I was number one in the world, and I worked my butt off to get it. And then when I got it, I'm like, oh, wait, this is all there's to it. That's what I thought it was from. So I did mental emotional release, not on myself. I called a friend in, and we did mental emotional release on that thought that success is hard and difficult. What we came up with was, this is what my subconscious mind came up with, was something happened when I was age 2 that made me feel like success was hard and difficult. And I've been carrying, so I thought it was when I was 21, 22 was the incident. My subconscious mind says, nope. It's when you're age 2. This is the crazy thing, Corey. So after the session, I picked up the phone and I called my mom. I says, Mom, what was happening with me at around age 2? This is exactly what she said. Oh, yeah, I remember. She says, when you were about 18 months old, you were in diapers and your sister was being born, and I didn't want 2 babies in diapers at the same time. So I forced you to be potty trained. And this is what she said. And it was hard and difficult for you to be potty trained. So that thought of hard and difficult, I accepted and decided when I was around 2. And I carried it with me throughout my life. So every time now I look back on my timeline and I noticed that I had a lot of success. And after success, I felt like, wow, this is a lot hard and difficult. I would sabotage. And then I would do this. And that's an indication of baggage.
Interesting.
So so what we do is very powerful because of the fact that we don't look at the cause. We don't look at the symptoms.
Yeah.
We look at what's the root cause of what's actually driving that behavior.
And it's funny how you talk about that self-sabotage to bring it back down to a level where you're, quote unquote, comfortable. You see that with management teams all the time. When someone is overwhelmed by the business, they will manage it down to a level where they're comfortable versus working with the team and getting out of their comfort zone or whatever is holding them back. It could be personal, it could be capacity, it could be experience, whatever. But as the business grows, it's not uncommon to see 1, maybe 2 managers who are fighting like hell to get it back down to where it used to be because I was comfortable there.
Well, and that's what we call homeostasis. Homeostasis is when the mind loves comfort. It does not like discomfort.
Right.
So it always finds something that's familiar to it. And so what it does is it's like a thermostat. It's exactly what it is. It's a thermostat. That means my thermostat can't go any higher than 70. When I get to 70, I'm going to cool off till I get down to another plateau where I'm comfortable. We'll just say 60 for conversation. And we says, oh, shoot, I'm down at 60. I got to get the temperature back up. And so we start working hard again. And when we get to that plateau, we do the same thing. That's a true indication when a manager is performing like that. That's a true indication that they have baggage, personal baggage.
Cool. All right. That's amazing. So this has been great. Give us, you've given us some already, but let's go back and if you could give people 2 to 3 points or pieces of advice, something they can maybe put into action to start understanding. Obviously, you're not going to give them a piece of advice that's going to make everything go away, but maybe how to get on the right track to understanding what might be holding them back. And then, if they figure something out, they want to call you, we'll put your contact information up at the end here.
Yeah. I think the biggest thing, we talked about it already in early in the show, is stop and acknowledge the fact that something is not going the way you want it to go. Acknowledging it. That's so much powerful.
Is there something just to saying it out loud to someone?
Oh,
like I know as a man to go to my wife and say, I'm struggling today.
Yeah.
I take that's hard.
It's not, but that's
but once it's out, you're like, oh.
Yeah, because what happens is you release the energy. It didn't end. It won't end.
Yeah.
That's the beauty part about it. Now, for the people who are Christians, there's a passage in the Bible that talks about the fact that, this is a good principle. It says, confess your faults one to another that you may be healed. So when you confess it, when you acknowledge it to someone, the healing process automatically starts. So it's so important that most people don't want to tell it. They don't want to say it out loud. When you say it out loud, that's one of I think in the 12 steps program, they have to say it out loud.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're acknowledging it. So basically so what happens is the subconscious mind says, oh, okay, you're ready to heal. I'm going to help you find solutions to actually do that. And
it's amazing once you say it out loud, how solutions appear.
Yes. Yes. Because the subconscious mind says, oh, finally you heard me. I've been trying to communicate with you all this time.
Yeah.
And then we talked about it earlier. It's like, so a feeling or emotion or thought is something just trying to communicate with you and leave. And you finally says, I'm feeling sadness. I'm feeling overwhelmed today. Not I am overwhelmed. I'm not overwhelmed. Personally, no.
So I think that's another tip from you is the language of
language
this.
is
So we had Shannon Minifee on like 2 episodes ago, and she was really dialed in on the language about how, because they consult and how they say things.
Yes.
And so it's funny, and even Jeff Birmingham talked about this, like totally. So this is exactly what we're talking about. Totally unintentionally, but we've had this weave of guests lately that are really dialed in on how you say things to other people and to yourself. So
absolutely,
you brought that up. Not I'm angry. I feel angry.
I'm feeling. I'm still feeling. It's a thought. It's a feeling. That's not who I am. That's the difference. Think about it now. That's the difference. The difference is the fact that when I label myself as being angry, that means the subconscious mind is going to always try to find things to make me angry.
Right. Okay.
And so I need to release. I'm feeling angry. It's outside of me. I can see it. I can feel it. And it's trying to communicate with me. So what is it trying to communicate with me? So one of the things is not identify with a negative emotion or feeling or thought. Just recognize and acknowledge it as what it is.
That's the same with like anxiety. When people say, I have anxiety, you might as well say, I am anxiety versus I feel anxious.
That's a beautiful one. And what happens is, especially in the medical industry, they always go about the symptoms. They label people. They want you to be labeled.
It's crazy. It's crazy right now. My kid goes to school, and when she started middle school, it was like they laid all of these illnesses on the table and said, which one would you like to identify with?
That's right. They want you to think of it like that. Think about it. This is the biggest thing. This is one of the things me and my wife talk about every day.
We're going to go off the rails here, Curtis, with this, but let's do it. Let's go.
This is the thing. This is one thing I want people to understand. Ask yourself this question. The question is this: why would pharmaceutical companies spend billions of dollars on commercials on medicines that you cannot go out and buy?
It's crazy. Yep. To solve things that you're probably not going to get.
This is what the biggest part about it.
People, stuff that you have wrong with you, so they can make. But guess what?
though? People then start to normalize illness and to be comfortable with being sick, and then they start taking these symptoms and start looking for them. And the subconscious mind says, oh, you looking for anxiety? I can show you anxiety.
Yeah, we can find that. Yeah.
We can find that. So what I'm saying is that, it comes back to business. So when we talk about another one, what I would tell individuals, protect your mind. Protect your mind. As much as you try to get rid of as much negativity as you possibly can. When me and my wife is sitting down watching television together, we have a remote control in our hands, and every time a pharmaceutical commercial comes on, we mute the television.
Great. So I was going to say that protect your mind sounds great in theory. How the heck do you do it?
Basically, even for yourself, when you catch yourself, and that's kind of what you want to do too. This is one thing a person can do. When you find yourself about to say something negative about yourself, or like you said, man, I'm stupid. You say, counsel, no. No, I'm not stupid. Basically, you need to make sure that every time you do something like that, you kind of catch that trigger, and then you give the reverse of it. It was just not a good thought right now. That doesn't make me stupid. So what I'm saying is that every little thing, and until it becomes like more commonplace and it's natural and normal for you to do it, because always remember is that it's conditioning, and the subconscious mind takes. And some school of thought says it takes at least 21 days, and some say 30 days, and some people say a year. But for me, and what I found is that it's an ongoing process, just like brushing your teeth, just like washing your body. Is basically you don't take a bath today and says, you know what, I want to take a bath again until next month. No, you might not be well suited for a meeting. You need to do that like on a daily basis, just like brushing your teeth. So we need dental hygiene, we need mental hygiene. So one of the other things I would suggest individuals do to try to find one moment, a minute or 2 or 3 a day, and do some type of visualization and meditation. Nothing hard, nothing difficult. What I teach my clients is self-hypnosis is basically just look up, count, and then allow yourself to body relax and close your eyes and tell yourself to rest. And then now think of who you want to become. What is it that you want? Like for me, if I want to picture myself doing, $1 million a year in revenue in my company, I can see, sense, and feel the money coming to me in a lot of different ways. And I'm feeling it in my body, not just seeing it. It's not an affirmation. It's a feeling that I'm having, and I'm creating in my body this feeling of I'm seeing it and I'm sensing it, and I'm feeling it in my body. And it doesn't take but a minute. And then just breathe it in, allow your body to actually absorb that feeling and emotion, who you want to become, whatever it is. And then just kind of make sure you count yourself back out and kind of rub your hands and like, okay, I'm ready to go. And so what you're doing is rewiring the brain on a slow daily mental process. Take a minute a day, 1 minute. I think it'll make a big difference. I've been doing that a lot with my clients, especially if we did some major changes. I subscribe, I prescribe to them at least 8 times a day, 1 hour, every hour. Take a minute, 1 minute, and think about who you want to become. Not just think about it, but feel it and sense it becoming true. And that's what I do every morning. Every morning, I do a journal, and I do that one practice.
Amazing. This has been great. I've enjoyed this conversation so much, Curtis.
Yes.
So if people are listening and they say, man, I got to talk to this guy, how can we get in touch with you?
Well, the best way is to go to my site. When you go to my site, you can go to Bespoke Human Potential Coaching, or you can just put curtismccullom.com in, and you still land at Bespoke Human Potential Coaching. And there we can do a free 30-minute meeting with you. I think I have a couple of surveys or something you can do, figure out where you are on your journey. It's really, that's what the starting point right there. And then we can have a meeting together. If nothing else, do the free 30-minute meeting with me. And the best thing about that, it'll still change your life. I mean, you're still going to get something from it. I might not be your cup of tea. That's fine. But if I am, one of my affirmations is I'm looking for individuals who are looking for me. And being Curtis is more than enough.
Very cool, man. I love it. I've enjoyed this conversation. Thanks so much for your time.
Oh, man, it's been a pleasure. I mean, we just got to stay in touch, Corey. I mean, you're a good guy. I appreciate you, man.
I appreciate you. Thanks, Curtis. There you go. Curtis McCullom. Please check him out. What a great guy. I really, selfishly, I really enjoyed that conversation, but maybe we'll have to have Curtis back, or we'll have to have him on one of our roundtables coming up, because I think there's a lot of great stuff there. Don't forget to connect with me on LinkedIn, or send us a comment through LinkedIn or YouTube, or through the text. Send us a text button. We're always looking to hear from you. I appreciate you tuning into the podcast. My name's Corey Harlock. I've been your host. And until next time, stop grinding, start growing.